Despite the fact that Korea ranked 8th in the world last year in terms of trade, economists say the strong exports had a limited trickle-down effect on the country's domestic economy, especially in the job market. Hwang Sung-hee explains.
Despite the ongoing global economic slowdown, Korea's exports fared relatively well last year, with the country posting over $1 trillion in exports and becoming the world's 8th largest trader. However, economists say this strong performance only had a slight effect on boosting the country's domestic economy. This was most evident in Korea's labor market. In 2000, every $1 million increase in exports led to new jobs for around 16 people. However, this number halved 10 years later, so that around 8 jobs were created per $1 million increase in exports. What is the reason behind the significant drop? Economists blame the nation's conglomerates, most of whom have started operating factories overseas over the past decade to save on labor costs. For example, Korea's largest automaker, Hyundai Motors, produced more than half of its cars overseas last year. And as such, because most of their goods are produced abroad, larger companies tend to export parts and materials rather than manufactured goods. 95% of outbound shipments to China were parts and materials last year, and these type of exports made up a third of the country's entire outbound shipments. The problem stems from the fact that conglomerates make up more than half of the country's overall exports, while the volume of shipments by small and mid-sized firms is contracting every year. Economists say the government should beef up measures to bring manufacturing and the jobs that go with it back to Korea. They say this can be done by increasing the volume of shipments of manufactured goods by small and medium-sized exporters. Hwang Sung-hee, Arirang News.